Welcome back. Really excited today to announce two major feature enhancements to your Castos podcast hosting account. One of them sets the foundation for a lot more future features that are coming. And today we'll show you our native integration with ConvertKit. We'll talk about the benefits. We'll talk about setting it all up. Castos, one of our taglines is that we are the center of your audio universe. And we really mean that because what we're going to do is make your podcast hosting account start to connect and communicate with a lot of the other tools that you already use to help promote and create an audience around your show. Starting with today's announcement with ConvertKit, and you'll see here on our new automations page, in no particular order, Teachable, Stripe, Podia, the tools that you use to grow an audience, monetize an audience, connect with an audience, deliver other contents to your audience. If you're doing that already, our private podcasting tools help really complement that experience for your customers. And with our mobile app that's in the iOS store and in the Android store, it's a perfect complement to that as well, because what we're doing is you're saying, hey, we'll connect your private audio over here with Castos. When you sell somebody a course or an ebook with, let's say, ConvertKit, you can send them a private podcast and they can listen to it using the Castos mobile app, which is arguably the best and most distraction-free experience that they could get. Certainly, you could give them the option to connect your private podcast to their favorite podcasting app. But if you have an audience that isn't really in tune with finding an RSS feed, copying, pasting that into an app, sometimes there's like password stuff involved. With our mobile app, you can just have your customer log right in and get access to the content that you want them to have access to. As many podcasts as you want. You can host as many private podcasts as you want here at Castos. So we feel like this is going to be a fantastic complement to those of you already using these tools to sell and deliver your other content throughout the web. If this is the first time you've heard or seen ConvertKit, it's a fantastic tool for creators to build an email list, to launch automations, to launch segmented email lists, to do e-commerce, to have a great looking email newsletter campaign. They have a lot of stuff, and they have a lot of creators that are creating this content and selling content, subscription-based content, membership-based content, one-off ebooks. And we feel that Castos is a perfect complement to that space because now you can attach a private audio podcast right alongside that. So let's get started connecting the automation. When you log into Castos, you'll see the new automation tab up top. And again, we only have ConvertKit right now. We have plenty of other integrations coming soon. We'll click on Connect ConvertKit. And just like any other app you've connected throughout the web, you'll need your API key and your API secret key. We'll go into ConvertKit to grab that. So under your settings of your ConvertKit account, you can navigate to the Advanced tab and copy and paste your API keys right here. So we'll grab our API key, paste that in, and then our secret key, and paste that in. Go ahead and hit save. And that will go ahead and connect up. You'll see that it's indicated by the tag that says ready to connect in blue. We'll click on connect integration. And then from here, you're ready to go and set up your first automation. You see the green tag, it says it's connected, you're ready to go. At any point, if you wanted to, you could disconnect that integration. Once you get to the automation screen, you'll see that we haven't set up an automation yet. That's what we're going to do right now. So we'll click on add automation. And generally what we'll do is we'll just cover the bases for what would happen for your standard use case for delivering a private podcast to an email newsletter. So let's select the integration first. We're going to say what happens when you do something in ConvertKit. What is that trigger? What's that thing that happens? Well, we'll say subscriber is activated. That's our most common use case. Somebody joins an email list, they're an active subscriber, and now you want to deliver them this private podcast. So we'll select an integration. We'll say Castos. And what's the action? We want to add them to a podcast. So we select that, and then we can select from the private podcasts that we already have here at Castos. I'll just pick the first one there, which is private podcast, and save the rule. Now, in the past, to make these types of connections before, people who are using ConvertKit, you'd be using Zapier and you'd be signing up for another service. You'd go to Zapier.com, you'd set up the same integration. Now we're doing it right here in Castos. So we can turn this activation on, this automation on. It is now active, and that turns on your native integration from ConvertKit to Castos. Somebody subscribes to your email list. We send them a private podcast. They get an email notification that says, hey, download this Castos app or listen to it in your favorite podcast player. The amazing thing here is, well, with our private subscribers, I'll click on that for a moment. Inside your private subscriber dashboard is where you can control and see the health of your private podcasts, many podcasts. It doesn't have to be just one. You can host as many as you want here. And you'll see the graph tick up as you sell or get more folks signed up to your private podcast. And you'd have control here to come in and click and manage them. If they ever lose the invite email, you can resend it to them. If they want to change their email address, their name, or get the link again, you can kind of manage all of that right here. The great thing about private podcasting at Castos is it is tied to their email address. So if you set up an automation in Castos for your ConvertKit account, if somebody becomes unsubscribed, you can set up that action to unsubscribe a person from the private podcast. So now we have the activation where somebody signs up for that email newsletter, they get attached to a private podcast and they're a happy customer, but then someday they cancel and they move on from your subscription, or your subscription just expires after a couple months or a year or whatever it is. When that person unsubscribes from your ConvertKit email, we want to say, hey, don't forget to also remove them from the private podcast because that's part of the value. We don't want them getting access to this private podcast anymore. So you can set up that activation right here. Nice and streamlined, all in one place. You don't need a third-party account, and you can start delivering private podcast content right from Castos. You can set up as many of these private podcasts as you want. You can come in and upload episodes to your private podcast. You can use it as a communication tool. You can use it as an onboarding tool. You can use it as your course. If you were selling courses through ConvertKit, you can now sell audio attached to that. It's a pretty amazing experience. It's a pretty amazing product. We hope you really enjoy it. If you have any questions about ConvertKit, about Castos, about private podcasting, you're a creator and you want to know how to really leverage these tools, leave us a comment below or reach out, hello@castos.com. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want more, because you're going to want more, because we're going to be launching a whole bunch of new integrations soon, and you're going to want to stay on top of that. Subscribe to youtube.com/Castos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.